I think that part really bothers me the most. I mean, the fact that I can go walk out into your shop, purchase one of your firearms, I'm going to pay a sales tax on it. Then that sales tax is going to turn right back around, go to the state, and be used to try and strip me of my ability to buy that same firearm.
Yeah, that's a very, that's the most obvious way of looking at it. There's a worse way of looking at it, and that is not only is that taxpayer money going into the attorney general's office and, to defend against any lawsuits that our side might bring, they're also using that money to give to groups that are committed to making sure your right to keep and bear arms goes away through NGOs. The one that was formed to oppose our ballot committee is called Yes for a Safe MA. Their sister organization is the Mass Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence. They were given a $290,000 grant by Andrea Campbell's office to study the effects of gun violence. And they hired employees, and then a month later, they started Yes for a Safe MA, and they've got this whole campaign going to ensure that your rights stay encumbered by unconstitutional laws. And they're using taxpayer money to do it. That, to me, is not only a conflict of interest, but it is insulting and tyrannical and frankly treasonous, because every single one of those people, Andrea Campbell, the legislature, the governor's office, executive office of public safety, the legislature, have all sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And then they themselves become the very enemy of the Constitution by the laws that they enact, by the enforcement actions they take, by the unjust rulings that they have in court, and by using taxpayer funds to ensure that your rights are eroded. It's madness.
I mean, I know you said the government's basically giving money to these organizations, you know, and yeah, like you said, it sounds like a massive conflict of interest. Is this one of those things that, could be brought to the state attorney general or potentially even a higher authority to look into?
Well, we did that. We brought this to the Mass Department of Ethics, the Ethics Department, and said this is an outright conflict of interest. You can't use taxpayer dollars to go to an NGO that is committed to taking away people's rights and then watch them start a ballot committee to oppose the ballot, the veto on the ballot November 3rd, and use those funds for that. If you did that, that's called lawfare, or not lawfare, that's electioneering. And you would get in so much trouble if you tried to use taxpayer funds for your candidate or your cause that's on the ballot. You can't do that. We brought it up to the State Ethics Commission, and they said, nothing to see here, folks, move along. They literally don't care.
See, if they don't care, then you couldn't have put in any sort of request to get similar funding from the state.
I would love to get in on the inside and figure out how that happens, but I'm sure that my request will fall on dead ears. Yeah.
So, God, it sounds like just such an absolute quagmire and a bunch of. I have not pleasant words about what I think about this, but after you formed the Civil Rights Coalition, I know that you